Pretty excited. So right here at the top right from Team Mouse Control, I was gonna say recent addition, but that's not really true. It's Darkomicron, the green Protoss.
Yep, and in the bottom side we've got Grubby from Team Grubby, who was called Grubby in Warcraft 3. Playing as Grubby, it's gonna be the blue Protoss.
Yes, I'm not gonna do the whole Team Grubby thing here because I think I've went over it extensively in another cast. But yeah, it's PvP on Neoplanet S. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Well, PvP, Neo Planet S. I really like some Phoenix openers on it. To be honest, Robo can be good, but I don't know. Every time I see either someone going Oracle or Phoenix in the PvPs I've watched lately, and Phoenix are really good against Oracles because Oracles can't shoot up.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, we know that Stargate is really popular in PvP these days. Especially Grubby, if you watch his stream, really likes to play Stargate in all matchups. Uh, even versus Terran, he'll go Stargate early and do heavy Oracle pressure. And that's just something kind of the new metagame. Both builds so far, both players are actually kind of similar. The standard 14 and 13 gateway. Um, Not much to say here at this point. Neither player has opted to scout either.
Yeah, I am expecting to see during this series at least one time. I am expecting to see some DTs early on. I don't know if they're gonna go for that in this game, but that's something that really can throw your Protoss opponent off guard. Now, keep in mind that in PvP, if you go with Stargate opening, the Oracle is also able to see the Dark Templars, but it is still really good if your opponent does.
Yep. And yeah, I'm just curious to see it, and we see it earlier Staminatic score from Darkomicron for some reason. That is, of course, because Grubby has opted. I mean, sorry, I'm mixing the two up. Darkomicron did opt to go for an earlier second assimilator, and is now finally populating with probes. Whereas Grubby decided to throw down his cybernetic score a bit earlier before that.
Yep, not a huge difference in the build so far though. Um, let's see, Darkomicron is putting 2 guys in gas and Grubby is putting 3 guys in gas. So Grubby's gonna get a little bit more gas intake, usually indicates Stargate when you do put the 3 guys in there. And as a Protoss you really have to, when you scout your opponent, see how many workers are being committed to that and how many workers he has, of course. That's one of the most valuable information you get.
Yes. Okay, so he threw down the cybernetic score before the second gas, which means he wants to get tech out really quickly. He's also opted to throw down he's just making a a sentry, so he can hold off gateway pressure earlier, and he just throw down his Twilight Council. So this could be, well, charge old Icon timing off of one base, which is not very likely. It could be DTs, or yeah, well, mostly those, or blink base play, of course. So we're gonna see what it's gonna be. Saving up quite a bit of gas off of both refineries. Darko, on the other hand, just finished up his mothership core, so he probably wants to be staying even more defensive, and he's banked up a lot of minerals, so we're gonna see one gate expand from him.
Yep, Darkomicron going for a very ballsy expansion early on. And it does look like it's gonna go ahead and be DTs for Grubby. I expected to see it during this series. I didn't expect it to be game number 1. Maybe Darkomicron isn't gonna expect it either. But, well, he's gonna have a good counter to it though, because Robotics Facility already underway. And that seems to be a very good good catch. I don't think he has any idea that there are Dark Templars on the way. But this is gonna be very hard for Grubby to do the amount of damage he needs to.
Yeah, it's gonna depend on how Darko is gonna execute his build. We see a small poking from Grubby, noticing that there is an expansion. This is gonna make him happy because it would normally delay any attack from his opponent, lowering the chance of any detection being around. Of course, it's really normal to go for an observer first if you one gate expand, because you want to be able to scout your opponent quickly and see what he's doing. Darko is finally scouting here with an hallucinated Phoenix, and he will see the Dark Shrine.
Yep, he will see the Dark Shrine, and the expansion is already finished. An observer is already underway as well. The mothership Gore is getting into a defensive position. He's gonna hold the ramp, also has some sentries to get a force field down if necessary. He might just sack this expansion though. because he doesn't have the observer just yet. There we go, observer is out, and he's gonna be just comfortable holding it right now.
And now this pressure from Grubby getting shot down really well by Darko with photon overcharge on the Nexus. Grubby does retreat with most of his zealots though, because the force fields were not that good, but the observer, it is in position, and we're going to see how many kills is this DT going to get. He's going to get 1, 2, 3, but now the photon overcharge is targeting him, and he's going to die with only 3 probe kills.
Yep, only 3 kills is not too good. Now the only thing that Grubby can really follow this up with the DT tech is getting some Archons out. Archons are decent. Darkomicron did use all of his Mothership Core energy on the double photon overcharge. I don't know if it was necessary to kill the DT with that overcharge. Looks like Grubby is gonna make some Archons, and it is gonna be up to him to deal the damage because he does not have an expansion behind this.
Yes, he's practically all in with this 3K DT play. He morphed an Archon, which I think is a good move because you want to be able to break force fields. However, the Archon gets completely focused by these Stalkers and is immortal, which is really good against Archons, but doesn't even have the tank. Not all of the Stalkers are going to be firing, they're finally moving forward, and the Zealots being perfectly zoned out. Darko having the patience to force field after the Archon actually pops out, and now he's so good at zoning his opponent's army out with the Immortal doing a ton of damage against the Stalkers. Mothership Core getting a lot of free hits in, and you know, Grubby behind 20 supply. It looks like Darko's gonna hold.
Yep, Darko's gonna hold, and he even lost that Mothership Core to the last remaining Stalker. Grubby did, that is. He's still full on in this aggression, but it looks to be getting really bad. I wouldn't favor my money on this aggression working out now against the 2 Immortals out, even though one is on a little bit low HP. There's no more Archons, there's just 2 Stalkers, a few Zealots. Darko has more stuff.
Yeah, it's quite simple like that if you look at the supply. I would almost say this was a build order win for Darko, because the timing of his observer was just perfect. It timed out exactly when the first DTs were about to be warped in. And you know, he did it without scouting, which kind of goes the same for Grubby, so that's kind of how PvP tends to work. You know, you get the whole rock, paper, scissors in. Force field's not the best here, and yeah, Darko having a very nice defensive posture. DT once again in the middle and getting a few probe kills, but I really doubt that it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it's just not going to be enough. Great force fields by Darko, actually killing a lot of those Zealots off, and there's only 2 Stalkers remaining. The last one gets out of there, and that's what I would do in that position as well. The DT was being a little bit cute, killing some probes, but not a big deal. Grubby is throwing down his own expansion now, but it feels like too little too late.
Yeah, it does feel like too little too late. And we see Darko thinking, okay, you know, he's done me a lot of damage, but he can't be in such a good shape, so I'm just going to attack him. Grubby actually sniping a pylon in you know, the natural of Darko with 1 Stalker. But we now have the army of Darko approaching his own Nexus.
Yep, and he's even keeping smartly some units in his natural expansion with an observer for any potential counterattacks. And Grubby's gonna do just that. It looks like Darko's gonna go ahead and assault his expansion, and Grubby's gonna try and do some damage, but he won't be happy with the result of that. Another photon overcharge. I don't think I've seen one Mothership Core do that many in one game. Expansion's gonna go down, and this looks really good for Darko.
Yeah, this looks really good for Darko. He forces the cancel. And what are you gonna do against 3 Immortals? Oh, nice force field by Grubby though, managing the force field off these Zealots, but they sneakily try to stay in range of the Immortals, so they can't keep firing on high ground Zealots, and Grubby can't actually touch these.
Yep, 2 Zealots at the top, giving a lot of vision to Darko right now. Also assaulting one of the gateways there with the Immortals. Enough range to actually hit that, so this is a really awkward position for Grubby to be in right now. You know, it's really cute. Darko is actually hallucinating a Colossus, but it can't actually walk over it. So.
Yeah, I really think this is, yeah, of course he can provide himself high ground vision with it, but he can't actually crush the force fields as much as he would want to, because he is not, well, he isn't actually a real. Force field's about to run out here for Grubby. Darkomicron just literally forcing his way up the ramp. Immortals being pretty good against sentries, which simply do not have the DPS required. And I think we're going to see GG here any minute from Grubby. And that's probably going to be one of the most unexpected results of the tournament, with Grubby losing his first game to, you know, Darkomicron.
Yep, not unexpected for me at all. You see, I had the pleasure of playing against Darko in my first game, and if he can beat me, he can beat Grubby. It's that simple. Immortal does get stuck by some
Oh.
decent force fields from Grubby right there, chasing him out there as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to eat my own words here again because he does manage to chase out Darko. However, the economy advantage is huge. You know, almost twice the income.
He's had that expansion for like, you know, forever. And also has a lot of units back in his base. He never made a proxy pylon, I feel like, in the map. So, yeah, that it's gonna be a delay of the inevitable, I feel like. But Grubby's doing a good job staying in this game. You always have a chance in PvP. Your opponent just has to slip up a little bit and you can make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, it's like I said, I kind of have to eat my own words here because this is really the, let's call it the pro gamer advantage. It's just really obvious for him. I mean, his micro at that engagement at the top of the ramp was so good, even though he was so far behind already. It's almost seemed unreal that he managed to fight off that assault from Darko, even though Darko didn't reinforce at the front with a proxy pylon.
We have some chat going on from a guy called Darkomicron. It's pronounced Darkomicron. Isn't that like the way we say it?
Yeah, I just kind of string them together, to be honest.
Yep, we all string them together.
Anyway, I know what it's like to have your name mispronounced.
Really? Isn't Wayman the normal way to say it?
Yeah, that is, but some people pronounce it Wayman.
Wayman.
Yeah, I have a shirt in my closet which I got at a LAN party from one of my TF2 teammates when I used to play high level Team Fortress 2. We were like meeting IRL like the first time at a LAN party in England for a tournament, and he got us shirts, and mine had Wayman on the back with W-A-I-M-A-N.
Oh my god, it's always horrible when they misspell your name. I don't think Odin has ever been misspelled, but my regular name has been misspelled so many times.
Yeah.
Because in Dutch, most people think it's David, because that's the way you say it in Dutch. But my mother was an English teacher, and she thought it was funny to call me David. And yes, that has been the bane of my life, to be honest.
But don't you like spell those the same?
You spell them the exact same, but I still say that everybody's saying it wrong.
Oh, okay, I get it.
There you go.
So Grubby has managed to get up an expansion,
Yep.
but his army size is significantly lower, and I'm not quite sure. Well, of course, he kind of has to fight it because otherwise his opponent would just out Colossus him. I mean, he gets good force fields against these stalkers, manages to squeeze them in. But there's just so much stuff here for Darkomicron.
Yeah, but it looks like these Colossus are also doing a really good job of zoning those units out, and even though the force fields were really good, it's gonna be GG from Grubby, and Darkomicron takes the game number 1.